There's a reason the shooting guard is one of the most iconic positions in basketball history. Whether you grew up watching Jordan, Kobe, Wade, or today's stars like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the scoring two guard has always held a special place in this game. It's in that sweet spot between skill and athleticism. Unlike bigs, where raw size can dominate, or point guards, where feel and playmaking take center stage, shooting guards can blend it all: handle, footwork, balance, body control, touch, which can add up to a very aesthetically pleasing game. That's what makes Darryn Peterson such an exciting prospect. He's not just productive, he's polished, with good size for a shooting guard with a strong frame, real scoring chops, and a well-rounded skill set. Peterson fits the mold of the greats, and he has a real chance to be a #1 pick in a stacked draft class at the top, and it's easy to see why. As he heads to Kansas to play for Bill Self this year, let's take a look at what he brings to the table, and skills to monitor for this upcoming season. Before we break down his game, if you're into deep dives on the draft and basketball in general, hit that like button. It lets me know you enjoy this style of content. And let me know in the comments, would you take Peterson #1 in next year's draft? I'll be reading your takes, of course. And make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss my upcoming videos on AJ Debonsa and the other top 2026 draft prospects. Darryn Peterson is listed at 6'5", 195 pounds, with a strong frame and long arms. While he's not an absurdly explosive athlete in the mold of Ja Morant or Anthony Edwards, he's a powerful, fluid mover and a terrific functional athlete with excellent body control. What stands out most is how polished and composed he looks at his size and age, whether it's handling the ball, finishing through contact, or defending bigger players. Peterson rarely looks rushed or out of control. Peterson's biggest calling card as a prospect is his ability to score from all three levels. He is extremely comfortable creating his own shot and has a tight handle and deep bag of moves to get downhill or create separation. Most players his age operate at 1 or 2 speeds, and when you're physically dominant, there's often no need to develop any change of pace in your game. But Peterson is different. He's already a master at shifting gears and keeping defenders off balance. And what makes him particularly dangerous is how fast he accelerates out of these change of pace moves. He's not too worried about scoring off his first move, as he's confident in the endless counters that make him tough to stay in front of. It takes a disciplined, high-level defender to contain him. While he was often tasked with running the offense, the moments where he operated from a triple threat position were especially promising. He flashed Jimmy Butler-esque stutter rips and cross jabs, and his herky-jerky style makes him a real threat in isolation. Peterson's change of pace often puts defenders on their heels, and that's where his pull-up game becomes lethal. He can rise up from the mid-range at any moment, forcing defenders to respect every hesitation. He also absorbs contact well, often bumping smaller defenders off their line before pulling up for a jumper or soft runner. As a pick-and-roll scorer, it's not an exaggeration to say Peterson is one of the best guard prospects I've evaluated in recent memory. Everything about his game translates beautifully into this context. He manipulates defenders with tempo, routinely jails them behind him, and reads coverages like a veteran. If defenders give him an angle, he takes it. If they sag, he pulls up. And he's especially comfortable pulling up from 3. Across the 3 different sample sizes I watched, Peterson shot 36.1% on off-the-dribble threes on 116 attempts, an impressive number for a high school guard. This shooting ability gives him true 3-level scoring gravity, and it's what could elevate him into the elite territory as a lead initiator at the next level. Darryn's ability to pull up and change pace means he gets a lot of angles to get to the basket. He averaged 4.2 drives per game at Prolific Academy in his senior year, and when he gets to the basket, he's a very advanced finisher, all ready for his age. Comfortable finishing with both hands, Peterson can finish around with his length, over with his surprisingly effective leaping ability, and through with his strength and physicality. He combines this with a host of gathers in his toolbox, utilizing his patience to open up even larger finishing windows. This resulted in Peterson shooting 67% on layups in the 3 sample sizes I watched. And when he's unable to get to the basket, he can utilize his runner floater game, in which he improved on year to year, shooting 46% in his senior year high school at Prolific. Overall, his finishing game is very promising for his age. Peterson runs the pick and roll like a poise veteran. He's composed, waits for screens to fully develop, and knows how to set his man up using hesitation, pace changes, and eye fakes. As his high school career progressed, Peterson took on more and more on-ball responsibility, eventually becoming Prolific's de facto point guard. While he doesn't have pure point guard instincts, his decision making is solid. He can make basic reads, hit the roll man, and kick to shooters. His interior passing is particularly strong. He's capable of dump offs or shovel passes to his bigs in tight windows. That said, I'd like to see him show more urgency when these windows open. There were too many possessions when he was doubled or hedged in pick and rolls and couldn't find a short roll pass quickly enough. He's a deliberate player, more wired to score than to facilitate. To his credit, Peterson has made consistent strides as a playmaker, and I think he projects as a plus passer from the two. But if he wants to transition into more of a point guard role long term, quicker processing and decision making will be key. One of the stats that stood out the most when evaluating Peterson was how much he struggled shooting off the catch. The sample size wasn't massive, so it's tough to draw sweeping conclusions. But across the 3 sample sizes I had access to, he shot just 25% on 72 catch and shoot threes. That's unusually low, especially considering he actually shot better on dribble threes, a pretty uncommon trend. His mechanics look solid, nothing that really raises the alarm. The only thing is sometimes he can lean and stick out his leg a bit too much and not hold his follow through. That said, all his other touch indicators are strong, so I'm not overly concerned. Still, it's something to watch closely at Kansas. I also didn't see too much of his off-ball sense, things like cutting or relocating, simply because his offensive workload was so heavy. But how much he develops in this area will matter, especially for his long-term scalability. There were still some signs. He scored 1.318 points per possessions coming off screens. Although it was just 19 possessions, that's still really strong. Even if he becomes an elite primary creator, being able to complement that with a solid off-ball scoring game just makes you that much harder to guard. Defensively, Peterson brings real value at the point of attack. He moves well laterally and uses his strength to contain drives and competes hard. His anticipation on the ball is solid, and he uses his length well to contest shots and disrupt passing lanes. He has good hands as well, able to strip the ball and poke it away. Off the ball, he still has moments of drifting or ball watching, but that's common at this stage, especially with his offensive load. With his tools, there's real two-way upside here, especially if he can sharpen his reads and play with more consistent engagement. He also rebounds well for a guard, often grabbing boards in traffic. Overall, I think Peterson has all the tools to be a solid to good defender at the next level. Keep an eye on how much his off-ball defensive lapses occur at Kansas. As polished as Peterson already is, there's still a few key swing areas that could shape how high his stock climbs at Kansas. First is his catch and shoot game, and overall off-ball scoring feel. We've seen flashes, but his efficiency off the catch lagged behind his pull-up numbers. If he can become a more reliable threat spotting up and mix in more cutting and relocation, it'll make him even more dangerous when he doesn't have the ball in his hands. Second is his off-ball defense. Peterson has the tools to be a real two-way player, but there were still stretches where he drifted or ball watched. Cutting down on these lapses and locking in away from the ball will be a big point of growth. Finally, there's his playmaking pace. He's a capable passer, especially out of the pick and roll, but there's still a beat of hesitation on some reads. Becoming a quicker decision maker, hitting the roller, or continuing to find shooters a half second earlier could elevate him from a scoring guard who can pass to a true dual threat creator. Darryn Peterson is one of the most complete guard prospects in the country. A 3-level scorer with functional playmaking, a college-ready frame, and a poised, mature approach to the game. As he prepares for his next step, whether it's college or pro, the tools are there. The polish is real, and the ceiling? That's what makes him special. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Taco Takes if you want more NBA draft and basketball breakdowns. More videos on top prospects and basketball coming soon.